Hello everyone, this is In-Game Art. We're doing another boxing and breakdown and a demo. This is Monster Hunter World Iceborne Master Edition for the PlayStation 4. Now this comes with Monster Hunter World, as well as it comes with the expansion Iceborne DLC all on disc. So you get to play both the original campaign and the newer campaign, which is all on disc, which is a big plus and really nice to see. Now the on-disc version is 10.00, but sadly there was a good substantial size update. This update size was 8 gigabytes big, and it will take you to version 10.11. Now this update mostly consists of adding a little bit of features as well as of fixing a few bugs. Now what those added features are is the game, you may hear of the Guardian armor, which is an armor they will provide newer players and veteran players to allow them to get through the original campaign Monster Hunter World, but sadly this armor is not on disc. It is a download content, so sadly it's not there. So just if you're curious and wondering where it is. Nextly, the Horizon Zero Dawn, the Frozen Wild expansion or DLC added content is for PlayStation, is not on disc as well. That will be coming later as a bonus little update or DLC content, so that's not on disc as well. Nextly, if you are playing it for the first time and you're wondering how to access the Iceborne expansion, you need to complete the main story and Monster Hunter World's original campaign story first, as well as reach the Hunter ranking of high rank 16 before you're allowed to access the Iceborne DLC. So just keep that in mind. Nextly, if you are concerned or wondering, your save file from the original from the vanilla version of the game can be transferred over to the newer version here, so you do not need to start over, which is a huge plus. Also, I want to keep in mind that the game does have a long install if you're installing the game for the first time, so you better get ready to go do something else as it's installing, so just bear with that. Now, I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover at the beginning here. Now we can talk about the game. Now, I didn't cover Monster Hunter World when it first vanilla released due to the fact that I updated the game and I wanted to play with friends and family and so forth, so I wasn't able to properly give it a full coverage that I am comfortable with giving you guys. But now with the Iceborne DLC out and I was able to still play my old save, it was nice to be able to come back to this game, even though I barely remember anything in the game. But I love the graphics, I love the story and the characters and the combat and how rewarding it is to take on the monsters as well as the environment. I love all the improvements they've done with the series. Now, I've been part of Monster Hunter for a long time, since back on the original PlayStation 2 days. Now, I didn't keep up with it a lot like a lot of other people who've played every variation that's out there, in which there's a lot of versions of Monster Hunter out there. But Monster Hunter World, I think, is the biggest mainstream Monster Hunter out there, and so, Monster Hunter World anyway. I'm sure some veterans are disappointed with how mainstream it is. By making some things easier, things are more fluid, it's not as challenging and just has the same depth as some of the other Monster Hunters, but I think it really helped bring a lot more light and attention to Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter World by just making things a little bit faster and smoother, like be able to drink and move and so forth. It's really just up to the eye of the beholder. To me, I think Monster Hunter World was a massive improvement for the series. It made it fun, rewarding, and it's just gorgeous to play, and it's just really fun to take on these really big monsters. Now, the best way I can describe Monster Hunter World, if you're new to the series, think of it as an open world boss rush, where basically you don't really fight small enemies and level up and so forth like a typical RPG. You mostly go hunting big monsters like the bosses and so forth, and you keep hunting them to get their fur and clothing and scales and so forth, fangs and all the other stuff that you can use to craft better armor that will improve your chance of fighting another monster. Because all this game is about is tracking monsters, learning their weaknesses, and how to approach and how to defeat them. Now, the entire game can be played offline. You do not need to go online at all to enjoy the game. So that is really a huge plus for those who may not have high-speed internet or those who prefer just to play by themselves. But the game is strongly focused on a multiplayer play style where the game is focused more around people working together to take on one monster. Now, when you do play online, monsters are harder to beat, and I think they're a lot more aggressive as well, because I have played both by myself as well as with my friend Nugent, which basically he's the shining golden god compared to me in this game. He's much further, much better back when I played it before the Iceborne DLC. And just to see the big difference between how aggressive and how ferocious and how hard they are to kill with multiplayer. So just bear that in mind. Though the game, like I said, can be completely enjoyed and loved by yourself. Now, the Iceborne does add a lot more extra little contents here and there. Like, every weapon now has newer attack patterns, a few extra new moves, as well as they add the grip claw, or catch claw. I forget how they call it. It allows you to grab a hold of a monster and ride them and be able to do a few little attacks. It kind of reminds me of the Dark Horizon, Dragon's Dogma, that's it. Like, where you can jump on a monster and attack them. It kind of has like a grappling hook for that. Then, of course, the Iceborne DLC adds a lot more monsters, as well as there's a lot more extra monsters added to just even the base game. Just to give you an idea how much more has been added from the original First Vanilla. The original First Vanilla was 16 gigabytes big when it first released. This Iceborne Master Edition takes the game all the way up to 42 gigabytes big. That's how much more extra content is added to the game, both from the expansion and through all the updates. So, again, there's a lot of content here. This game is, like I said, is like a big giant boss rush mode. You have various weapons and patterns and ways you're going to go about fighting the monsters, and you just got to find the way that's most comfortable for you. Me, I've always preferred the hammer and the bow. Those were my two main weapons I ran with. And you got to make sure you build yourself around your play style, like your armor and just your little pet friend, and just how you choose who you run with as a group. It all matters about working with teamwork. In the end, Monster Hunter was a game I really liked, but I was never very good at it. Sadly, I could never been able to access the Iceborne DLC because, like I said, you must complete the main story and reach Hunter rank, high rank 16. I was never be able to reach that rank, and I've never been able to beat the main story just because I can't beat a certain boss enemy. And I forget its name, it's like Nagarahaya or something like that. It's the main boss in the main original story campaign. I've tried multiple times, but I've never been able to beat him by myself. He does this fly-up attack, and he dives down, and I can't dodge it for the life of me, and it just instantly kills me. Maybe I'm just not good at the game. I don't know. But I do know the game has all the expansions and so forth all on disc. So this is a great complete collection for all those who are a big fan of the series or who have been holding off and having all the DLC and updates on disc. But as I said, the game just came out, so we're going to probably get more updates along the line. So eventually this Master Edition will be outdated probably pretty quickly, considering we're all the way up to 10.00 version already. So, like always, I will leave links down in the description if you're interested in a copy. For the most part, yeah, if you're a complete collector such as me and you want all the content on disc, and as well as, like I said, if you're someone who doesn't have high-speed internet or you prefer playing by yourself or offline, the game can be completely beaten and enjoyed all offline. I'm just probably not that good enough to beat the boss enemy, the main boss enemy anyway, by myself. So, thank you all for watching. Hit that like, subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me. And I'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye-bye!